to run, to Democrats' delight, is that this man has been through some things, some things that qualify him perhaps uniquely for this moment in Washington. He has served in North Carolina. He has not served in Washington, but he brings an experience, a level of political experience to Washington if he wins this race, which is, again, perhaps uniquely suited to this moment. And that is because during Roy Cooper's 2 terms as governor in North Carolina, Republicans turned North Carolina into kind of their anti-democracy pilot project. In 2016, when Roy Cooper ousted the sitting Republican governor of North Carolina to win the State House for the first time, the very first thing Republicans in the legislature did was they started stripping powers from the governor's office. Oh, the governor's going to be a Democrat now? Well, then no more powers for the governor. Republicans basically said to North Carolina voters, sure, okay, maybe you can elect a Democrat, but if so, we will not allow that Democrat to wield the powers of this office. For all 8 years that Roy Cooper was governor, Republicans were particularly focused on not just taking away his powers broadly, which they were, but explicitly and specifically they wanted to take away any control he would have as governor over administering the state's elections. They wanted that power to be in Republican hands. They're still at it. Last year, when North Carolina voters elected another Democrat to succeed Roy Cooper as governor, the Republicans in the legislature passed a law that moved control of the state elections board from the governor's office to the state auditor's office. Why would you give control over elections to the state auditor? That's a job for a guy who, keeps tabs on the state's finances. Why would he be in charge of elections all of a sudden? Oh, they gave that guy the job of administering elections or overseeing elections because while Democrats won the other races, it was a Republican who won the state auditor's race. So suddenly it's the auditor's office that should control the state's elections. In case it wasn't exactly clear what they were doing, right? That said, what started in North Carolina has really been embraced as a model by Republicans in other states. North Carolina has essentially been a testing ground for Republicans in terms of small d Democratic disempowering of the opposite party. And Roy Cooper has been their prime target. When it comes to taking power and then seeking a sort of autocratic breakthrough, using the power of government to stay in power yourself and to deny the ability to govern to your political opponents, North Carolina is where we have most practically been experiencing that in recent years before the moment that we're in right now. Which means that if Roy Cooper, in fact, wins this Senate race in North Carolina, he's going to bring some highly relevant experience to Donald Trump's Washington from North Carolina. Joining us now for his very first TV interview since announcing his Senate run